The stars are not always aligned, and the tumultuous career of Papa Wemba is a good example of that. Wemba is probably one of the most iconic African artists of all time. He is mostly known for his international collaboration, the awards he won, and his contribution to world music. A lot of people outside his home country might not know about the course of his early career. In the mid-70s, Wemba was rejected by his own band, Yoka Lokole, while they were performing on stage. Sometime after, he decided to launch his own group that he would call Viva La Musica. This was an instant success. When looking back at this period, it's almost as if the expression rising from the ashes was created to describe what Wemba went through in the late 70s. In this video, I will discuss why I believe that the 77-82 generation of Viva La Musica was responsible for one of the most dynamic artistic periods in the recent history of the music on the continent. So hello, welcome to the Botengu channel. I use this channel to show videos about music theory, others with myself playing music, and I also like to make small documentaries on African music. You can like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. I believe that the first generation of Viva La Musica was behind one of the most innovative artistic periods in recent African history, and there are two reasons why. The first reason is the complementarity of the incredible talent within the group. In addition to Wemba being a fierce and a great recruiter, there was a whole apparatus of people around Papa Wemba dedicated to make the group a successful one, as highlighted by Jadot le Cambodgien, one of the first recruits. The people around Wemba had faith in their leader, and hence, they helped hire some of the great talents. One of those talents was Kofi Olomide, who was initially a songwriter. Initially, Kofi was known mainly for his rich and poetic lyrics. As he was not a regular member of Viva, he was allowed to write songs for other bands such as Zaiko, and his prolific writing owed him the nickname of the most famous student in Zaire. He had a lot of ease when it came to songwriting, which explained why he was and still is extremely prolific, and it can be seen in the number of songs he has made over his 40+ years of career.
Faute nyonso yanga me fona lingaki yo même au plus grand défaut na kokaka te kobimi ça c'est que je reste dans mon cœur papicho moi katonné nazongi ndako miso ekotanga ngai mpona bolingo napesaki yo ezanga réciprocité yokosi ngai na baserment d'amour oyo ekomaka te pa ya nzambe te yo nyokoli yanga motema yango kobamplasaka te na se ya mvula na kotoko shok eleki makasi otala nga mbala mibale te pardon mitiana esika na ngai papicho.
One other talent was Emenea, who would revolutionize the singing style at Viva during that period. Emenea paid particular attention to the harmonic details. His obsession with choir architecture led to the development of the Indu Sankara concept, a choir architecture that was ever made great by the voices of some of his colleagues such as Dindo Yogo, Esperant Kisangani, and even Pepe Bipoli. As soon as he entered Viva, he became close to Papa Wemba and was given a leadership role as Wemba saw in him a great talent. His singing and choir knowledge helped him go far in his career after Viva La Musica, even to the point of becoming the rival of his former boss at a national level. Until his death, Emenea kept his choir obsession and micromanaged every detail of the songs he put out.
Ingrédients pour biso awa expression linga koloba moi 2-3 bêtises moi 2-3 petits balongo li forme
non wana te nga zande ngona te
ingrédients genre
non nga ingrédients ça par exemple répartition de voix mais ça non mais ça
ya moto koboya mateno kinga pena ko changer na kende na mali belango soki
ogi okatana wana ogi premier tour baké unisson deuxième tour basali répartition des voix do bengredia nga yango na sadi ko yeba ndeni bat ba
When it came to the instrumentalists, or the guitarists more precisely, they were key in the construction of the band's sound. Wemba himself was somebody who loved to explore musical styles from other places, and he had guitarists who were able to make him reach those horizons. This is shown in his second take on his song Zonga, a song he had previously recorded when he was part of Zaiko. In this song, the guitarist uses guitar effects similar to the ones used in psychedelic rock.
Mon amour, je serai abandonné comme un mawa.
Many of the guitarists within the group ended up doing great things later on. Rikilo, for example, would be a key part of Victoria Ele's son before becoming Tabule's guitarist. Beniko Popolipo would go on to revolutionize Zaiko's sound in the 80s and then help shape Kofi's sound with Quartier Latin in the 90s. Rigo Starr would end up a key part of the Paris-based soukous musical scene, as well as being crucial in Billy Abel's career in the 90s. The second reason why I believe that the first generation of Viva La Musica was a great one is because of the revolutionary concepts that revolved around their music. The first concept was Village Molokai. The governance of Viva La Musica was likened to a traditional village. The musicians were the soldier of the village, the staff were the notables, and Wemba was the chief. It fit the concept of recours à l'authenticité, a movement that was brought forward by Mobutu, the president at the time, and it was also influenced by what Fela Kuti did in Nigeria. The second concept is none other than La SAP. While touring in Europe, the Viva members familiarized themselves with La SAP, Society of Party People and Elegant Persons in French, and the sapeurs were the ones who practiced La SAP. Those sapeurs would be known for their lavish lifestyle and their out-of-price flamboyant suits and taste for expensive brands. A good example of this lifestyle is recalled by Juna Janana, one of the artists of Viva. He says that it was during this trip that for the first time he witnessed a man taking out one of his fancy shoes, pouring champagne into it, and drinking from it as a way of boasting. La SAP can almost be seen as a caricature of the ancient European aristocrats by Africans. The members of Viva La Musica embraced the philosophies of La SAP and started to mention the brand's names as well as the sapper's name in their songs. On a side note, it's pretty amazing to see that the same group will hold those two completely contradictory philosophies. On one side, promoting traditional values, and on the other side, praising Western brands. This goes to show that the concepts that were promoted in that group were not necessarily the expression of a deeply thought philosophy, but rather a way of getting people's approval and remaining relevant. In the case of the traditional behavior by Village Molokai, it was possibly a way of getting the approval of Mobutu's government, while in the case of La SAP, it was probably a way of getting the approval of the members of the diaspora. Unfortunately, due to a momentary weakening of Papa Wemba's leadership, artists started leaving the group. First, a musician left to create Langa Langa Star in 1981. Then, Imenea took most of what was left in the group, plus the new recruits, and went on and created Victoria Ele's son. Before concluding, I'd like to clarify a few things. I'm not saying that Viva La Musica is one of the most innovative bands in the history of DRC. I think Zaiko holds this title, especially when we focus solely on the musical aspects. But the artistic contribution initiated by Wemba's curiosity, and the concept which revolved around Viva, such as La SAP, and the incredible amount of talents and future stars within the group during such a small time interval, made that first generation of Viva one of the most dynamic generation the African musical scene has ever seen from an artistic point of view. To conclude, I will just say this. The stars do not always align, but when they are, you cannot help but watch and smile.